YouTube, what is good? Welcome to the Millennial Funk Sports Show, College Football Edition. I am your host, R. Press. Make sure you go check out the H-Town Shutdown. I just did an episode on the Astros and the Texans. But this episode of the Millennial Funk Sports Show, we're going to be talking about college football and possibly the best week of college football this year. Week 4 is coming in hot with a bunch, and I mean a bunch of great games for us fans to indulge in this Saturday. I'm going to go through them, and I'm going to tell you what I think about them, who I think will win, and we're going to have some fun because this weekend is going to be fun. Let's get prepared for week 4 of college football. First and foremost, shout out to the game of the week last week, Colorado versus Colorado State. Very, very entertaining game. Came down to the wire. Coach Prime's Buffaloes came out on top when it looked like they wasn't. What an effort by Colorado State. It had everything, man. The drama, the competition, some controversy, some trash talking beforehand. Excellent game. But it did come at a, even though the Buffaloes won, it did come at a loss. Travis Hunter will not be available, according to reports, up to 3 weeks. Definitely will be out in this game coming up this week. But just want to shout out to the game of the week. Let's get on to this week. Oh, also, the dopest uniforms I saw last week was Florida State against Boston College, which that was a close game. Good effort from Boston College. Had them on the ropes early on. Florida State was then blowing them out. Boston College came back, almost tying it up, and made it a really good game. So shout out to Florida State for winning this week's uniform of the week. Those white helmets were simply fantastic. All right, guys, let's talk about this week because this week is going to be a fantastic week. I'm going to go through several games because a lot of games this week are going to be excellent. Let's just get it started. I'm just going down the list. We're starting with the start times. Okay, the Florida State Seminoles, last week's winner of the uniforms of the week, will play at Clemson Saturday, 1 p.m., 12 p.m. Central, 1 p.m. Eastern. Florida State is 3-0. Clemson is 2-1. Remember, Clemson's only loss came to Duke, first game of the year, that Monday night where they got rolled, but have bounced back and won 2. Florida State, as I mentioned, was in a dogfight with Boston College last week, ended up winning on the road, and they go back on the road to face Clemson. Clemson has run the ACC. They run it. So Florida State has the most talent they've had since the Jameis Winston era about a decade ago. This is the most talent that Florida State has had on their football team in a decade. A lot of people picked them preseason to be in the college football playoff. Well, their opportunity to keep that dream alive has to continue this week against Clemson. It's going to be a great game. It's going to be a test. The spread is 2.5. Florida State is favored. It's going to be on ABC. Sorry, I'm looking at my phone for the some of the stats on there. Clemson's at home. They've won 2 straight, as mentioned. Florida State is 7th in points per game. Clemson's 40th. Florida State is 64th points per game allowed. Clemson is 50th. And yards allowed, Clemson is 7th. Florida State is 103rd. So the defenses have got to step up. Florida State let a bunch of yards go in the last game against Boston College. Clemson, as I mentioned, got rolled by Duke in the first game and then bounced back and won 2. This is the big boy test for Florida State. Are you the kings of the ACC? Well, we're going to see when you knock off the team that's been dominating the ACC since the last time Florida State was good, which was back in 2014 with Jameis Winston in them. All right. Great game. And also, okay, and I'm of course, I can't forget to give my picks. I believe Florida State's going to win this game. I don't think it'll be a blowout. I think it'll be close. Matter of fact, I think it's probably going to be a 2-point game. I'm thinking Florida State 33, Clemson 31. All right. Oklahoma versus Cincinnati. Sneaky good game. Is Cincinnati in the Big 12 now? I believe that they are. Yeah, they are. So a nice Big 12 test for the newcomers and the team that's in their last year in the Big 12, Oklahoma. Let's see what the line is. Ooh, Oklahoma's favored by 14.5. Okay. Clemson is 2-1. Oklahoma is 3-0. Let's see. Oklahoma's third in the nation in points per game with 55.7. That offense has been humming. Let's see what the defense. Oh, and Clemson's 39th. They average 30 a game. Let's see what the defense looks like. Let's see. Total points allowed. Oklahoma's fifth in the nation, 9.3. Clemson's 62nd. I'm not Clemson. Cincinnati's 62nd, 21.7. All right. So it looks like Oklahoma's offense and defense has been good this year. They're on the road in Cincinnati, 14.5 point favorite. I saw Cincinnati briefly this year. Wasn't impressed. It was a game that they lost. But Oklahoma. Yeah, they've been putting up 50 points. Yeah, I probably would have to take Oklahoma winning that game, probably by 17 or 20 points. I think Oklahoma rolls. I think they put up probably 41. So I'll say 41 to 20, 21. 41 to 20, Oklahoma. All right. Another big game on the there's a whole bunch for another big game on the spectrum is a top 25 game between Colorado and Oregon. Number 10 ranked Oregon, and of course the 19 ranked Buffaloes. A lot of coverage going to that team with Deion Sanders as the head coach. This is their first game in the Pac-12, a Pac-12 that is stacked with good teams. And their first test is on the road at Oregon. Boy, that's going to be a battle there. Ooh, guys, Oregon is favored by 21 points. Man, last time Colorado was underdog by 20 plus points, they ended up going on the road and winning at TCU. I know this is a different animal going up to Eugene and playing Oregon. Oregon puts up points. They are second in the nation, averaging 58 points a game. Of course, 81 points helps. I mean, they put up 81 against Portland State. That was just shameful. Colorado's 15th at 41. Now, here's where the difference is. Points allowed per game. Colorado, 105th in the nation, 30.3 points per game, while Oregon is 32nd in the nation, 15.7 total yards. Oregon, third in the nation. Colorado, 23rd. Turnover differential. Oregon's fourth in the nation, +6. Colorado's 23rd with +3. So if you look at the numbers, they look pretty evenly matched, except for on the defensive end. Oregon's defense has been stout. Colorado's has been Swiss cheese. This is what, I mean, you saw what Colorado State did to them. They were moving the ball at will, especially in that first half. This game is going to come down to who gets the stop, and Oregon's going to get the stop. I trust Oregon to get the stop before Colorado. I think Coach Prime and the Buffaloes suffered their first loss by 21. I don't know if it's going to be that bad of a beatdown, but probably 2 touchdowns. Let's say 35. I'm going to say 42 to 28. Oregon. All right. Let's see what's up on. Okay. Sneaky good game. 13 ranked Alabama, 2-1 versus Ole Miss, 3-0. This is in Alabama. This is at Alabama, excuse me. Ole Miss. Let's see who's favored. Well, Alabama's favored by 7 at home. The over-under is 55.5. Let's see what the numbers are. Points per game. Alabama, 54th with 32.2. Ole Miss is fourth with 52.7. Points allowed. Alabama is 27th. They only allow 14.7. Ole Miss is 38th. They allow 16.7. The turnover differential, Alabama's +1. They're 48th in the country, and Ole Miss is +3. They're 23rd in the country. Alabama's defense continues to be, except for against Texas. Texas walked up and down the field on us. Their only loss. But Alabama's defense was really good last week against South Florida. Their offense is the problem. It is a problem. Saban went through, what, did he go through all three? He went through, he's back at the starter. He's back with the original starter. He's switched starters two times, and he switched quarterbacks twice, going to the second and third string last week to try and find something. That tells you he's getting desperate, and he doesn't have a quarterback. He doesn't have one he could trust. He doesn't have one he can go to. And Saban is showing weaknesses early on. I don't know if Ole Miss can capitalize on it, though. I don't know. Ole Miss has got a good team. They've got a good offense, 52 points a game. The quarterback has been playing very good this year. I guess for me, it's a see it to believe it type of thing. Once Ole Miss does it, that's when I'll believe it. Once they go to Alabama and beat them, that's when I believe that it'll happen. I don't think it will. I do think it's a close game. I think Alabama's defense continues to be stout, except for when they see Texas. But I think it continues to be stout. I think they hold Ole Miss to probably 20, 19, 18, 17 to 20 points. And Alabama scores, well, you know what, guys? I don't know. Hold on. I just said, let me rethink this. Because I just said Alabama holds them to 17. That means they got to score more than 17. How are they going to do that? Defensive touchdowns? I think Alabama's defense has got to almost pitch a shutout. So they got to hold Ole Miss to probably 2 touchdowns, a couple of field goals. I still say 17, and I think Alabama finds a way to score 20 to 17, Bama. I think Ole Miss covers the spread, though. All right, let's see what's up next on this stacked schedule of Saturday college football. Cannot wait for it. Ooh, UCLA at Utah. 2 3-0 teams in the Pac-12. UCLA travels to Utah to face that always tough Utah Utes team. UCLA is, let's see what they are. 20th in the nation in scoring at 40 points per game. Utah's right where they always are. They're 89th. They score a 20. Yeah, they're 89th. They score 25 a game. But the points allowed, they're 9th in the nation. They only allow 10.3 points a game. Oh, 7th in the nation is UCLA. Defense has been playing well this year. And I know that they played San Diego State, a pretty good team. So, that was probably impressive. But all the offensive stats favor UCLA. Total yards, passing yards, rushing yards, yards per game allowed, that favors Utah, and the turnover differential that favors Utah. So pretty evenly matched. A lot of offensive stats going the way of UCLA, and their defense has been playing good this year as well. But Utah is solid, especially at home. Who's the favorite? Utah's favored by 4.5. Let me think, guys. Because I saw UCLA this year, and I was impressed. I thought that they were moving the ball at will, but they're not going to be able to do that against Utah. They're just not. Now, the question is, Utah, will they be able to do it with their quarterback? I only saw them against Florida, and Cam Rising wasn't playing. Is he back? Let me check. Forgive me, guys. I should know this. Let's see if Cam Rising's playing at home. Doesn't look like it. They're asking who's playing QB. So the call would be, as I said, There's a report saying that the call will be made on Thursday about Cam Rising's availability. As I speak, it's Wednesday night, so that's not known. Utah is still favored. I'm going to move forward as if he's not playing, and I think Utah will win the game. I think they find a way to grind it out. I think they make the game a Utah game, low scoring grind out. And UCLA will have some turnovers that'll probably cost them the game, just in my opinion. I think Utah wins this game, let's say 24-21. Close game. Field goal. All right. Man, that's a good one too, man. That's some good games this week, guys. Arkansas LSU for a 7 o'clock tip kickoff in the Central. Both are 2-1. Let's see. Arkansas, LSU is 10th in the nation in points, 45.7. And they're 23rd or 72nd in the points in the nation with points allowed, only allowing 23. Meanwhile, 48th in the nation is Arkansas. They only allow 19. And they're 33rd in points per game, 38.3. All right. The turnover differential favors Arkansas. They're +5. Oh, man. Let's think about this game. LSU is, let's see how much they're favored by. 17.5. I was about to say, I was going to go with LSU, and I was going to pick them by just 2 touchdowns. I might go to 3 touchdowns here. Arkansas, pretty good team. I don't think they have enough to compete with LSU. Jaden Daniels looked pretty good last week. Didn't look good in that first game, but it's bounced back. I think it continues. I see LSU putting up 40, and I think they win 40-20, 40-24. All right, let's see what else is on this stack schedule. Yeah. Good one out west. Top 25 matchup. Oregon State 3-0 goes to Washington State 3-0. A team that 2 teams that many people didn't see this year being good teams, especially since they're going to be the teams that are going to be left behind in the Pac-12 as everybody else has decided to leave and dip. Their rivals, Washington and Oregon, are leaving. But Washington State and Oregon State have been surprisingly good this year. I watched Oregon State play. I watched Washington State play earlier this year, and I was impressed. And I went away from each of their games thinking, they're going to be good. They're going to be good this year. And they're proving me right early on. Washington State is 6th in the nation in scoring, 48.3. Oregon State is 16th at 41, 2 high-scoring offenses. Points per game allowed, Oregon State has been very good this year, only allowing 11 points per game. That's 11th in the nation. Well, Washington State only allows 22.3 points per game for 68. Washington State has the edge in the total yards and passing yards, rushing yards and yards allowed. Oregon State has the edge. They're dead even in the turnover differential. So this is a pretty good evenly matched. It's going to come down to DJU. He's been pretty good this year. Not turning the ball over, making smart decisions, using his legs. I think that's what it's going to come down to. Oregon State is favored by 3. Washington State at home. It's going to be tough. I think I'm going to go with Washington State. I think they win by 3. I think the score probably is going to be 25-22. I'll go Washington State at home just because they're at home. And I was impressed with their offense. It looks pretty good. I'm going to go Washington State on that. Close game. Going to be a fun game. Penn State, Iowa. Another top 25 matchup with the 7th-ranked Penn State Nittany Lions taking on the Hawkeyes from Iowa. Iowa's been pretty good this year, especially on defense. They only allowed 12.3 points per game. But guess what? Penn State has been just as good on defense. Matter of fact, they've been better, only allowing 11.7. And they're 14th in the nation in scoring at 43.7, while Iowa is 74th at 28.3. All of these, all the offensive stats lean Penn State. And I got to admit, I said it in an earlier episode. This is the most talented Penn State team I've seen in a while. I think that continues. I was going to give them a heck of a game, but Penn State's favored by 14.5, and that's what I do see. I do see Penn State winning by like 15 to 20 points. I got them beating Iowa 42-21. I was going to play them hard as a top 25 matchup, but Penn State's talent will overcome them. I think, honestly, Penn State is really just looking and waiting for two matchups, and we all know who it is. Ohio State and Michigan. Those are the two games they got circled twice on their schedule. Those are the games they're going to have to win. And I think they will be undefeated before they reach one of them. I think Ohio State might be the first. I think they see Ohio State first, is what I meant to say. Excuse me. All right. Whew. A big one. Notre Dame and Ohio State. Oh, where's the game? At South Bend. NBC, night game, 7:30. Man, after sitting down and watching all these great games, and then you sit down and you're going to get this one. Notre Dame versus Ohio State, a top 10 matchup. 6th ranked Ohio State versus number 9 ranked Notre Dame. Notre Dame has been impressive this year. Blowing teams out. Defense has been stout. The offense is averaging 46 points per game. Defense is only allowing 11 points per game. You could tell that they actually got a quarterback in Hartman. And their defense is flying around. Notre Dame looks good, and they're at home. Ohio State's offense, for me, hasn't been what I'm expected. What I expect to see from Ohio State hadn't been bad. They averaged 40.3 points per game, so it hadn't been bad. I guess I still got the Indiana game in my mind where they struggled to move the ball, and but Indiana. If you're starting off, listen, it was a Big Ten matchup, same conference matchup, first game of the year. Iron out some kinks. Indiana's never just hasn't been a pushover in a while, so that game was going to be competitive. I guess I need to look at the last two games they played and obviously see that is the Ohio State, but we'll see what they bring to Notre Dame. Let's see. Ohio State is favored by 3, pretty much a pick 'em. At Notre Dame, man. Let me think, guys. Who is going to win this matchup? I don't know. For some reason, I think Ohio State. Oh, gosh. I don't know. This is a tough one. For some reason, I think Ohio State survives. It is on the road. It's a tough matchup, but for some reason, I think they survive, and I think the score is 27-24 Ohio State on the road. I think they survive. And this isn't a classic Ohio State team, but I do like what I see from their defense. Notre Dame's competition has been great leading up to this. But they're not afraid to play anybody. I'll give them that. And I think right now I'm leaning towards Ohio State. So that's what I'm gonna go with. It's gonna be a close one. It's going to be a good one. I cannot wait to see this matchup, man. Top 10 matchup at Notre Dame in South Bend, Ohio State versus Notre Dame. Let's see. Let's see what else stands out as far as a big time game on this stacked schedule. I guess we could talk about UW versus Cal. Cal's had a pretty impressive start to the season. I think Washington's going to win that game. Let's see what they're favored by. 21 points. That's what I was going to say. I think they pull away from Cal. I got Washington winning this game. Let's see what the over-under is. 60? Yeah. I think Washington will probably put up 40. So I think Washington wins this game 38-17. Man, as I said, what a schedule. Florida State, Clemson, Oklahoma, Cincinnati, Michigan and Rutgers. Rutgers is 3-0. Michigan's 3-0. You know, Michigan's always a fun watch. Colorado, Oregon, Ole Miss versus Alabama, UCLA versus Utah. Can Tennessee bounce back after the embarrassing loss to Florida? They play University of Texas, San Antonio. Arkansas, LSU. Oregon State, Washington State. Iowa, Penn State. Ohio State, Notre Dame. Man. Cal, Washington. USC plays Arizona State. USC should win that one. Great set of games coming up in college football, man. I'm excited. I know that you guys are. Those are my picks of the I think I went through probably 10 games there of the best 10 that college football has to offer. Sit back and relax Saturday. Enjoy the ride because this is the best week on the schedule. Week 4, college football. Appreciate you guys joining me today. You have a great week, and we'll talk about it next week. I'll holla.